These past few months of my self-improvement journey, I've noticed an issue that people have been struggling with and arguing about, and I want to give my insight on it. Now, this problem, it's the idea that you can consume too much knowledge. And I see a lot of people in the self-improvement community having a lot of arguments about this, saying that you shouldn't be consuming too much knowledge if you're not going to take action after. And these past few months, I've tried to find the downsides of consuming too much knowledge. I've been reading more books. I've been watching podcasts. And to be honest, I think if you're gonna consume knowledge, watch podcasts, read books, it doesn't always have to be about taking action after. But I think that for the majority of the time, if you really want to be taking your self-improvement journey seriously, you should be trying to find something in these videos that you're watching or in these books that you're reading. You should be trying to find something that you can use in your life. I think that's going to be the most helpful thing in your self-improvement journey. Do I think that 100% of the time it always has to be taking action? I don't really think that. And here's why. Based on my experience, whenever I wouldn't be watching podcasts or reading books, I would be still watching YouTube, but I would be watching content that wasn't really helpful to my life. And you might be struggling with this too. You might have a YouTube addiction. You might have a video game addiction. But this is what I did, and this really helped me in a lot of ways. Instead of watching, say you have a YouTube addiction, or say you're spending hours a day watching YouTube. Say you're watching like video games, like video game content, or like just meaningless content in general. That's not going to help you. Instead of watching that content, replace that content with an educational 1 hour, 2 hour podcast. And I think that watching podcasts and reading books is still 100% better. It's still 100% better in my opinion than watching other meaningless content like vlogs or video game content. But I think that for the majority of the time, you should be trying to learn something that you think is going to be useful to your life. And here's what you should really do. Here's what I did. Get yourself a notebook. And this is going to be your self-improvement journal. And for the content you consume, for the books you read, you can write notes for the content that you consume and the books you read. You can write the notes when you find something, and when you're reading or watching whatever the podcast is, you're going to write whatever you think may be helpful to your life down in this notebook. So for example, when I read the 4-Hour Workweek, I wrote notes about the 4-Hour Workweek. See right there? And I wrote whatever I thought might be helpful to my life. Even if you're not going to use it immediately, at least it's in the notebook. And I really think you should do this. I really think this is helpful, because even if you don't even want to use it immediately, just write it in the notebook, and you can use it at a later date. And you still have that knowledge for later. But so here's my final opinion. entertainment wise, if you want to just entertain yourself, say if you just finished all your work and you have nothing else to do, entertainment wise, replace the video games and the meaningless content and just the TV you watch with just a book or maybe a podcast. And I still think that's 100% better. There are benefits that I've experienced when replacing just content that wasn't good for me with reading and books. I think it can really increase your attention span, and I just think it's way more helpful even if you're not learning anything, because it's not I want to say instant gratification. It's not bad dopamine like the other activities. So yeah, my final opinion, do I think you can consume too much content? I do, but I don't think that every podcast and every book you watch has to be about taking action after. I think it's still better to watch podcasts and read books just for entertainment. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I hope you did learn something from this. This is something that a lot of people do talk about in the self-improvement journey. And if you did, yeah, that's about it. Peace.